Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth and I'm here to talk about living off base and on base in Japan and the pros and cons. So I'm first going to talk about off base and like how to get started and like what the process is, and then like talk about my house or my apartment that we lived in, and to show you like some pictures that I have, and then I'll talk about on base. So living off base, if that's what you want to do, a lot of people do it. It's totally different because you're living in like a completely different culture, and it's definitely an experience. So what you do is when you get to Japan, you get hooked up with a housing office, and they were like, okay, I want to live off base, and you go to this like class thing. They just talk about living off base and everything, and then like you get set up with a real estate agent who speaks English, and they will take you to your house or apartment. And pretty much what happens is whatever rank you are is whatever cap you get for like your rent. So if you're E4 and married, or E5 or whatever, you get like a certain amount of money, and like that's just your cap. So my husband was E4 when he got there in February, and then he made E5. But in the military, you're still technically your previous rank, even though you make rank until like 7 months later until you start getting paid. So he was still in E4, so he went out and looked for apartments for us while I was in America, like waiting for him to look for our apartment. And then when I got there, we still didn't have our apartment, but we figured it out, and then we got our apartment. And so what happens is the Navy gives you money so you can live off base, and it's like a security deposit. And then once you put your security deposit down and stuff, you can like get your keys and move in. But the bad thing about living off base is with your security deposit, you got to pay it back. So they give you a year, and they take it out right out of your paycheck, like automatically, and we paid $400 a month for it to be done for a whole year. So it was like from September to September, and then it's done. And you can get that money back, of course, when you move out. So that's also a pro. Another thing is like living in an apartment versus a house off base. A house, of course, is just a little bit bigger. I mean, everything is really, really tiny there. So living in a house, you of course can get like a little bit more space. They're usually like 2 stories. There's like a top and a bottom. You can like spread out more. In the apartment, of course, you're just going to be closer to base, and so that's really nice, but it's much, much, much smaller. So we lived in like a 2-3-ish bedroom, I guess you could say, and the bedrooms were like super, super small. The oven was really small. The kitchen was really small. I think it was like this, like, not even kidding you, maybe like this. You can't probably see it. It was really, really tiny. And I mean, that's kind of hard for people to adjust. I mean, we got like 2 balconies, and the 2 bedrooms, I didn't use them for anything. And then we had like an extra tatami room, which is like the tatami mats that they have over there. That's what we used for a bedroom, and it had like sliding doors. But we always kept them open because it was always cold. So, that was to say, like, it's just really, really tiny living off base. But it was really nice because we didn't have a car when we first got there, and like we were in walking distance within base, and it was just really nice. And we didn't have any cable or internet, but you can get cable and internet. Like, we just chose not to do it because we were really thinking about living on base. Like, once I met some of my friends and like saw what it was like living on base, I was just like, I just want to live on base. But so that was that's something that you could do. And it kind of, when my husband was underway and I didn't really have much friends, it was kind of boring because I didn't really have anything to do. But I would like walk around. I know I'm crazy, right, for not like going exploring, but then I kind of got out and started doing that, and it was fun. I enjoyed living off base, so it was not too bad. Another, I guess, pro I would say is like your toilet and your shower, like bath area, are completely separate, which is nice. So like right when we walked into our house, our toilet was like straight ahead, and like the toilet is so nice. There's like a bunch of buttons and like a bidet and like a heated seat, so it was really nice during the winter to have a heated seat toilet. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it was really, really nice. So that's what I would say, like a pro would be living on off base. And like the nice thing too is like when we lived off base, we didn't have any furniture, and they give you loaner furniture for 90 days. So we got like 90 days to like get a couch, get a bed, get all this sorts of stuff. And like, so if you're like going over there with your spouse and you have your stuff like coming from America, of course you just wait till all your stuff's there, and then you can get all your stuff. They like move you in. They have movers to unpack everything. They'll unpack your boxes. They do everything for you, which is really, really nice. They do that on and off base, so it doesn't really matter. where you're living at that point. So, I mean, a bunch of people love living off base, like, especially if you have a dog and there's like a waiting list on base for a townhome. Like, people just like, okay, I'll just go live off base. And I mean, there's definitely beautiful neighborhoods and areas that you can live in. So it's just, it was really, really small for me, and my oven was like really small, and it was just something that I just didn't want to do. I mean, I'm really happy that we did it. It was definitely an experience, but I just kind of wanted to move on base. So when you move on base, it's kind of different. So we moved in on base, and you are given, depending on like what you are, what your rank is, like how big your family is, these options. So if you don't have a pet, a dog, and it's just like you and your spouse, or you, your spouse, and a child, you can get a tower, which is a 2-bedroom. And then if it's you and your spouse and 2 kids, you get another tower, a 3-bedroom tower. So we got a 2-bedroom tower because just me and my husband at the time, and it was really spacious. You had a really big kitchen, American oven, American fridge, pantry, a balcony, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, a washer and dryer unit, which you also get in off base. You get washer and dryer too, but it's like super, super tiny. This is like, everything was American, so like you didn't feel so like out of your element. So that's really neat. And the 2-bedroom, your living dining room is kind of small, like it's all in one big area. And if you're in the 3-bedroom tower, you kind of have a bigger separate like dining and then a separate living. So the 3-bedroom is definitely bigger than the 2, but you don't really have an option. You can't like, oh, I want this one. So you pretty much have to like get whatever you're taking, like whatever's available. And if you have a dog though, you have to live in a tower, or sorry, you have to live in a townhome. Because they have a backyard. Like the towers don't have any backyards. It's just like 1 through 9 floors, and all you have is a balcony. So you can't have a dog. So that's why some people just choose to live off base, because they don't want to wait in the Navy Lodge forever, or like just the waiting list is just so long. But I know they've gotten a little bit better about like getting people on base. So the townhomes are 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or 4-bedroom. So depending on how many kids you have, or like what rank you are, it's the 2-bedroom townhomes were newer, and they were mainly for like officer and if you had a dog. So I don't really know what they look like. I never went in one, but I know they were like, I had a friend who had one. She said it was like smaller and it looked different than the 3- and 4-bedroom townhomes. But usually if you are like E7 and above, like you have a dog and it's just you and your spouse or whatever, you get like a pretty big townhome. They're usually all the same on the first floor, and on the second floor, like it depends on, you get like a bigger master, you know, the higher the rank you are, but they have like 3 bathrooms, a master bath, a bathroom upstairs and a bathroom downstairs, and they're really nice. And like I had a bunch of friends who lived in there. It's just something to do with they are limited. I mean, they don't have them for everybody. So that's nice. And the pros like living on base are, you know, you're really close to base, like everything's around you. You can walk, you can drive, you can take a taxi, you know, there's just so much more convenience living on base. That's what we liked about it. My husband didn't have to wake up early as normal, like some guys and gals, they have to wake up like at 5 in the morning because they have such like a long commute just to get to work at 7 on the ship. And it's just nice because there's like playgrounds and just like everything you need is on base, and it's just so much more convenient. Of course, you can always just go off base and like go exploring, but that's definitely, I liked living on base better than I did living off base. I don't know, maybe if I had like a bigger house, maybe we would have lived off base a little longer. It was just like so tight. But I'll insert pictures of some of my off base house and my on base house, and maybe you can like see the difference. I don't really have a lot of pictures of the on base house and my off base house. Like my house was pretty messy because we didn't have any closets. The other thing I forgot to mention, on my off-base house, my husband, all he was looking for was door heights. That's all he cared about. He didn't care about like if there was anything to hang up anything or like whatever. So I didn't have any place to really put my clothes. So they were just like all over the floor, like in the closet, kind of like folded up. But that's pretty much just the difference between living on and off base. But thanks. I forgot to mention one last thing. I'm going to put some links below just to some videos of a guy doing a couple tours and like the off-base housing process and everything. So go ahead and check them out if you want to see what the houses look like. Really, it's a better view than my pictures. Thanks for watching. Bye.